welcome to the second tutorial in our series on drawing the full figure. In the previous tutorial, we looked at how to draw the basic structure of the full figure in a couple of poses. And in this lesson, we're going to be drawing feet. If we look at the feet from various schools and periods, we will see that they can vary from fairly narrow and dainty to quite broad and rather clunky in the works of Astropas. The position of the feet is very important in the icon because they help to create the sense of both movement and stability. When learning the basic structure of the figure, we saw that the feet will often create a transverse relationship coming at an angle like this. They're also often drawn with one foot positioned diagonally, creating the sense of movement, and the other horizontally, creating the sense of stability. Now, before we get on to drawing the whole foot, we'll first deal with toes and clarify which toes we're talking about. So we'll start off with the toes we often see sticking out from under the garments of the infant Christ. We have the garment coming something like that, and the foot will be sticking out from underneath the garment. The toes come around something like that. And the toes are divided into two segments. Have the big toe. And then the rest of the toes are roughly the same width. Next we'll have the second toe, which is the longest. They're usually Greek style toes, not Egyptian style toes. And you can see each toe is divided into two segments. The second and the third toes are usually joined together. The third slightly shorter than the second. Sort of twin toes, and then the third and the little toe can be tucked away behind the others, depending on the angle of the foot. So we'll have the big toe, second, third, fourth, and the little toe. Now, toes can be drawn in a variety of different ways depending on the school and the period. So we'll have a look at another way that we'll often see, particularly in the Greek icons from the Paleologian period. We'll have our big toe. And we'll often see there's a gap between the big toe and the next one, the second toe. Third toe, and sometimes we'll see the fourth toe also joined to those ones, and then the little toe tucked away. So we'll start first by drawing a foot in using the diagonal movement. So our leg will be coming at an angle like this. And from the heel out towards the toe, the foot broadens like this. And the toes will come around like this. And the toes are approximately 1/3 of the foot. And the line of the toes will come around something like this. So we'll bring our heel out like this. The heel will come round and move in again, and then come out to the point where the big toe starts. Over here we have the ankle, and it comes like this. So we'll draw our big toe. And then we'll divide this roughly into equal parts. And remember, these toes are divided in half, so into 2 segments. We have the second toe, which is the longest. The third slightly shorter. Fourth, and then the little toe will often bulge out just a little bit and then hide behind the fourth. And if we make the toe now like this, it gives the sense of the volume of the toe. And then we can draw the sandal, outlining the foot. We'll have the strings for the sandal come in like this. And here we have foot moving the angle in this direction. Okay, let's draw the same foot moving the other direction in a slightly different manner. So our toes are roughly 1/3 of the foot. They're going to move it on a line like this. And we have the heel coming out a fraction like that. Big toe, this time we're going to make the gap in the big toe, and we're going to draw all three of these toes fully, and we'll hide away a little toe. Just remember, it bulges out just slightly over here. And then we have a slightly different way of drawing the foot like this. Next, we're going to draw the inner view of the foot positioned horizontally. So we'll have, again, the leg will be coming down like this, the heel sticking out like this, foot comes down like this, and then ends in the toe. And remember that our toes will be approximately a third. Have the heel coming around like this, makes a bit of a bulge, then moves down like this to the point where the big toe starts. Here we have the second toe heading out over here and the third behind that. We don't see the rest of the toes. And you can also draw the sandal on this foot. And usually on the sandal straps, there'll either be markings like this or a little cross marking like that. So now that we've seen how to draw the inner side of the foot, we're going to look at the outer side. I have the leg coming like this, and the foot's going to be moving in this direction. So the heel is going to come out at an angle like this. These lines are going to be almost parallel. And we draw our foot like this. The heel coming like this. Now, this part of the foot is an almost straight line. It only comes in at the point where the little toe begins. Our heel. Again, this is an almost straight line up to the point where the big toe begins. Now here the toes are going to be covering each other. So all the toes here are visible, they're not hidden completely. Behind the others. Sandal coming round. Now often in 3/4 figures and in compositions, we'll see the 2 feet together with the outer view and the inner view. So we'll have our foot with the outer view over here. And the foot with the inner view over here. Now, in Byzantine iconography, in composition, the objects that are further away are always placed above objects in the foreground. This is to make everything visible and brought into relationship with the viewer. So because this foot is behind the other one, it's placed higher than it. So as we said, we have the heel coming around like this, almost straight line to the point where the small toe starts. we said with the inner view, you've got to imagine the foot's coming down like this. The heel would be coming around like this. And we've got the indent here, the bulge over here. The big toe coming here, the second toe, the third toe, and then we'll put our sandals on them. And I mustn't get their toenails. And so there we have the 2 feet together. Finally, we're going to look at the feet of the infant Christ, where we see the bottom of the foot, and it comes around in a shape like this. And we have the heel. Oops. Comes slightly in here and then out. Here it comes more noticeably outwards. And because we're looking in from the bottom, the toes are basically circles. Have the heel and the balls of the feet. The last foot we're going to look at is a bit more complex, where the Christ child's foot is at a funny angle. And we have the leg coming down like this. The foot coming at a bit of a funny angle, like this. And we have the leg coming into the heel like this. So there's an indent here and it comes out a bit over here. There's a bulge over here again, an indent into the heel. Here we have the top of the foot. And the big toe. Come around like that over here. And the other toes. This time not full circles, because they're partially covered by each other. Come like that. And this is usually where his shoe is falling off, or his sandal is falling off his foot. So there we have Christ's foot at a funny angle with his shoe falling off. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Till next time, keep drawing.